Hello and welcome to the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Daniel Pineda.
I'm Lucas Newman.
My name's Adele Quo.
And today we have an excellent program. We have our news stories. Adele and
It's easy being green.
And Lucas, we can't forget the CBB stories.
Yes, indeed, and we also will be spicing up your evening with our reviews from our friend Rich, a section on seniors, and an interview with Miriam Gennari and her guests John Craig and Michael Youngblood.
Absolutely, and you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1, and also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. Well, in breaking news, firefighters made a daring rescue in the early morning hours of Wednesday. That's January the 21st. The Arlington County Fire Department, ACFD, responded to a 911 call about a house fire in North Arlington. They found 2 adults trapped on the roof of their 2-story home. An ACFD spokesman said hoarding conditions inside the home made battling the blaze more difficult. Firefighters used ladders to rescue the couple before they went to a hospital to treat minor injuries. The pair was asleep when the smoke alarms went off. Heavy smoke kept them from escaping out the door, but thanks to a pre-prepared fire escape plan, they knew a second way out. The ACFD reminds the public to install smoke alarms on every floor and bedroom, test smoke alarms on a monthly basis, change smoke alarms batteries twice a year, and practice your home fire escape plan. Lucas.
Thank you, Daniel. Arlington dog parents are on edge after 2 neighborhood canines ate toxic treats that landed them at the vet last weekend. Chunks of sausage stuffed with poisonous pills were left on 22nd through to 26th Streets along North Columbus Street on Sunday, January 18th. Dogs out for a walk ate the food. The Animal Welfare League of Arlington is testing the pills to determine their contents. The neighborhood now has signs posted warning people that someone is indeed poisoning dogs in our area. If caught, the culprit may face animal cruelty charges. Daniel.
Well, Lucas, Arlington Public Schools commemorated MLK's birthday by announcing the 2015 winners of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Literacy and Visual Arts Contest. 24 entries were selected from over 1,200 submissions. Participants in grades K through 5th grade were asked to describe in writing or through visual art how to use words, kindness, or service to make a positive change. Students in grades 6 through 12 had to illustrate nonviolent strategies to create positive change. A video highlighting this year's winners was presented at Arlington County's 46th annual tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Sunday, that's January the 18th, at Washington Lee High School. The winners were also recognized at the Arlington School Board's on January the 22nd meeting. The winners are shown on your screen. And Lucas, congratulations goes out to all of the students.
Thank you, Daniel. If you don't have enough reasons to shop at your nearest Target, here's another one. Target Express is on its way to the county. Target Express is a much smaller store focused on quick, convenient shopping. A typical Target is about 135,000 square feet. The Express versions range from 20,000 to 30,000 square feet and carry about 15% of a normal Target store's business. Although it's unconfirmed, Washington Business Journal reports that the new Target Express is slated to occupy space at 1500 Wilson Boulevard in Roslyn. Daniel.
And Lucas, while one store is about to open in Arlington, several other businesses in the county have closed shop. The latest casualty is Cake Love, the famous bakery that services cupcakes, cakes, and more. It closed its Shirlington Village store on December the 31st, and according to their website, they're focused on ramping up production of cake in a jar, a product that will be available in 30 retailers across the DMV, including Whole Foods and Lebanese Taverna. The original Cake Love on U Street is their only retail store that's still open. Lucas.
Have you noticed a spike in the number of young, urban, and affluent professionals wandering around? Well, according to the chic lifestyle-focused web-based magazine Thrillist.com, Clarendon is in their list of the top 9 yuppiest neighborhoods in America. Other cities that made the list include Lodo in Denver, West 6th Street in Austin, and Pearl District in Portland. According to Thrillist, Clarendon blends the quietude of suburbia with the bustle of city life, which makes it perfect for the professionals who work on K Street. Daniel.
And Lucas, it's that time. You cannot forget it. It's Adele and It's
Easy Being Green.
Adele.
Hey guys, thank you so much. I have my friends here, Lily, Lionscaping, and Joe Treefrog, because we are here to talk about It's Easy Being Green when you're stormwater wise with conservation landscaping. Just a reminder, if you're an Arlington property owner interested in reducing stormwater runoff from your property and keep pollutants out of our streams, applications for the 2015 Stormwater Wise Landscape Program will be accepted in February 2015. More details will be available. Check the website on your screen. So if you're selected through the program's lottery system, 4 practices are eligible for the reimbursement program to receive advice from county staff and funds to support your project. Or maybe you're interested in today's best residential landscape practice for an eco-friendly garden. The first great start for a stormwater-wise garden is to convert your lawn to conservation landscaping, which will reduce impervious surfaces on your property. Many people don't realize that when it rains, our large expanse of exotic lawn is little better than asphalt or concrete in allowing rainwater to soak into the ground, but rather it sheets off your property, carrying the debris and pollutants into our storm drains that flow to our local streams. So, remove or at least minimize your lawn and remove non-native invasive plants in your yard, and then install conservation landscaping. This conservation landscaping, it uses mid-Atlantic native plants that are better adapted to our local soils and microclimates. It takes advantage of the natural setting of your site and recreates the layers of plant communities found in our local natural landscapes. Please stop buying and using common invasive plants like burning bush and Japanese barberry from our nurseries and box stores. As natural wilderness shrinks and suburban acreage increases, what we plant in our gardens is increasingly important. Discover pleasure in recreating features in your garden that occur in nature, like a sunny wildflower meadow at the edge of a pond, a shady winding woodland path, or a steep bluff with rocky outcroppings. Besides staying true to what nature intended for a place, designing your garden with conservation landscaping helps us to preserve our rich natural heritage. The most compelling reason to use conservation landscape design with our native plants is to create a sense of place. Native plants not only make us feel at home, they remind us of this special place we like to call home. So remember, it's easy being green with conservation landscaping.
I like that, Adele, a special place.
That's right. Our home is special, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adele. Well, we continue the green theme with an alert about the Green Film Fest and Social on Tuesday. That's on January the 27th at Arlington Central Library. From 6:30 to 9 p.m., you can look forward to the documentary Battle for Brooklyn. The film covers the community activists fought against the destruction of their neighborhood to make way for a sports arena. The 93-minute movie will be followed by a panel discussion on any messages Arlington can learn regarding growth and development. Admission is free and refreshments will be served. Email info@greenofarlington.org for more information.
Thank you, Daniel. Speaking about treasuring local resources, Metropolitan Washington Winter Restaurant Week is back. The biannual DC, Maryland, Virginia event celebrates the metro area's culinary scene from now until Sunday, January 25th. 14 Arlington restaurants are offering discount deals on some of their dishes. Your choices are a 3-course fixed-price dinner at $35.15, or a 3-course fixed-price lunch at $20.15. Visit the website www.ramw.org/restaurantweek to learn more. Daniel.
Thank you so much. Well, local artists will investigate various aspects of the beauty of winter at Crystal City's gallery underground exhibit called The Wonder of Winter. Local art inspired by winter lights, activities, and special effects will be on display in the Focus Gallery until Saturday, January the 31st. The exhibit hours are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday to Friday, and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. In addition, new exhibit artist members' work will be on display in the main gallery. Visit the website shown on the screen. Lucas.
For parents investigating potential schools where their kids can begin the mental rigors of academia, Arlington Public Schools is inviting families to Kindergarten Information Night. Families of children entering kindergarten in the fall of 2015 can learn about APS schools, the registration and application procedures, and more. The event will be held on January 26th at 7 p.m. at Washington Lee High School at 1301 North Stafford Street. In case the event is snowed out, it will move to February 2nd. Learn more at www.apsva.us academic planning or call 703-228-6005. There will also be Spanish language translation. I'd now like to bring our good friend Rich with some local entertainment reviews.
Hey, Rich.
Thank you,
Howard.
Lucas. Thank you,
Hey.
Daniel. The beautiful Renee Fleming was in The Merry Widow in the lead role this past weekend at the New York Metropolitan Opera simulcast. That means right off the stage of the Metropolitan Opera, you see it at the Regal Theaters at the Boston. It was a happy and cheerful show, which isn't always the case with operas, right? But it's about the region of France called Pontevedrian. They need money and keep their money. They don't want their fortune to go outside their bounds. And they want to have a ball so that their hopes of keeping the guests there and everything. Anyway, the ambassador also wants Count Danilo, played by Nathan Gunn, to pursue and marry this wealthy widow, Hannah, which is Renee Fleming. There's lots of playful flirtations and fooling around and everything else. But then they have a young new star, Kelly O'Hara, who plays Valenciennes, and she is an up-and-coming star. The Merry Widow was a Susan Strawman production. You know, she's from Broadway, does musicals and that stuff. Well, and the choreography, so she's pretty good. Sir Andrew Davis conducted this show. Anyway, you could check what's coming up on January 31st at Tales of Hoffman. It's a Saturday. And then check their website, www.fathomevents.com. The Little Theater of Alexandria in Old Town has a wonderful farce, The Game's Afoot, or Holmes for the Holiday. That's Sherlock Holmes, written by Ken Ludwig. He's a local writer around town. This very funny play, directed by Frank Paparino and produced by Rachel Alberts and Bobby Hurst, is a winner. It's set on Christmas Eve in 1936 at the Connecticut home of actor William Gillette, played by John Henderson. He invited fellow actors to come on to his home for the holiday, and next thing you know, somebody's murdered there. Why, it's Daria Chase. She is knocked off, played by Melissa Dunlap. She ends up with a knife in her back. You know, that'll kill you anytime. And but there's a bunch of good actors in it. It's a lot of fun. Gillette is fond of quoting Sherlock Holmes, and indeed the plot has many twists. Anyway, it runs through February 7 at the Little Theater of Alexandria at 600 Wolf Street. For information, call 703-683-0496 or check the website, www.thelittletheater.com. And then finally, I want to tell you about a new restaurant here in town. It's just above Roslyn on Wilson Boulevard, Bistro 360. It's a bistro, it's a restaurant, market, and a wine bar. Recently opened at 1800 Wilson Boulevard. It's all around. I mean, you got everything you want there. Art Hopman, who owns Cassette's restaurant on Lee Highway near Glebe Road, is a principal in this Bistro 360. Taking a look at Bistro's menu developed by executive chef Scott Pearson, my first thought was, wow, a little Asian, a little Italian, a little of this, a little of that, a little Southern. You got a little Eastern Europe. You got everything you want. For starters, I tried the onion cabbage soup. Imagine, onion soup, right? But cabbage in it makes a big difference. I love it. And butternut squash soup is one of their things. And then, when's the last time you had fried green tomatoes? Well, they got them there. There's a lot of stuff about this thing. They've got cheeses, they got salads, they got vegetables, everything. Bistro Market features a wonderful array of cheeses. They got pasta, they got seafood, they got glazed salmon, which is just wonderful. Okay, they got a pork chop that won't quit. Remember, Chef Scott is a guy who can do a lot there. Bistro 360 is up-and-coming restaurant between that Roslyn and Clarendon. It opens 7 days a week for dinner. Excuse me, I got choked up. On Saturday and Sundays. It's open just at night, though. They don't open for lunch. But on the weekend, they got the brunch. For more information, call 703-522-3600 and check the website. It's www.bistro360.net. So that's it, boys.
Absolutely, and that Sherlock Holmes from 1936, really interesting.
Yeah.
And that Bistro 360 has everything.
Hey, you been there?
Yes, it's great.
Okay. Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you.
Well, too many online accounts and too many passwords to remember create computer chaos. Kay Bransford from Memory Bank will host a free introduction to a password cataloging system that should make it easier to access and share that type of information. The event is at Culpeper Garden Senior Center. That's on Tuesday, January the 27th at 11 a.m. If you need any more information, just call them at 703-228-4403. Lucas.
Astrology expert Tom Chapin will present an introduction to astrology Wednesday, January 28th at 6:30 p.m. at Arlington Mills Senior Center. He will explain how a complete astrological chart or horoscope can be compiled based on a person's time and place of birth. He can also provide an in-depth personality profile. To attend this free program, call 703-228-7369 to register. Daniel.
Well, Lucas, do you know all the transportation options available to you in Arlington? Well, a representative from the county's Department of Transportation will discuss seniors' specific transportation needs and answer all of your transportation-related questions. That's on Monday, January the 26th at 1 p.m. at Culpeper Garden Senior Center. To register for this free program, give them a call at 703-228-4403.
Thanks for that, Daniel. What do you think of exploring countless collections of paintings, sculptures, and photography from across the globe? For $6 a person, art historian Joan Hart is taking seniors on a virtual tour of some of the world's most famous art museums. Just stop by Lee Senior Center on Monday, January 26th at 1 p.m. Call Lee to register at 703-228-0555. Daniel.
Well, accurate information in a credit report is the key to obtaining the best credit terms and rates. Brendan Vitorotto, a Money Management International, will explain how to read, understand, and dispute inaccurate credit information. This free program, or rather free event, will be on Monday, January the 26th at 2 p.m. at Arlington Mills Senior Center. To register, call them at 703-228-7369. And as always, we want to thank our own Judy Masomni for helping us this week with our senior story. She's actually here in the studio. Thank you so much, Judy, for all your hard work and dedication. And now we go on to our own Miriam Gennari with her guests, John Craig and Michael Youngblood.
Thank you. People of every generation, but in particular millennials, are trading the idea of having their big apartments or homes for the concept of smaller living in a more free and sustainable way. And my guest today, Michael Youngblood, he is a managing editor at the Innovation Journal as well as founder of Work From Anywhere. And John Craig, he here in Arlington started an organization called Empower Housing, are going to talk to us about co-living and co-working. Thanks for being with me.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us.
All right, this is a great sustainable concept, and I'm so excited to talk to you, Michael. Tell me a little bit about yourself, how you developed this idea, and also your experience in Indonesia when you did this yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Steve Jobs, somebody I look up to very much, was fond of saying that you can never connect the dots by looking forward. You have to trust into your future and hope that one day when you look back, you'll be able to connect the dots. And so when I think about the series of events that led up to this co-living experience in Bali, it really goes back to in college I was studying anthropology, which is really the study of people in groups, right? So I was studying these people in these groups, and I was trying to live as sustainably as possible, and my college was on the coast, and I actually spent a year living in a sailboat while going to school in a really small space, and I was as sustainable as it comes when I lived in the sailboat. And I graduated in 2007, really a year before, the Great Recession. And so I was essentially entering to a job market that was the worst since the 1930s. And, I realized over the years that the best way for me to watch out for sort of my professional development was by networking with people. And, again, sailing popped into my life this past summer when I took a group of 30 millennials on a vacation sailing in the Caribbean, and we spent a week down there. And it was on this trip when there were 30 people from 15 countries sailing for a week where we realized many of us worked on our laptop, from home or anywhere where we could. And through conversations, and we were sailing in the Virgin Islands in May, we realized that we could work literally from anywhere we wanted to. And so a group of us got together and over the months we'd planned this trip, and in November, this is when we went to Indonesia, and 35 entrepreneurs from the ages of about 22 to 35 lived and worked together in a group house that could, it was a very sustainable house, and it fit all of us, very well. So we had 35 people for that.
Well, I mean, how many plates and dishes does every individual need, right? So you shared the experience. That's wonderful, and that sounds exciting. But, you're doing that here in Arlington, John, with Empower Housing. How does, Arlington space is a premium. How does it work here?
Well, let me give you a little background. Back in the 90s, I developed a concept called Voice Roundtable. I won't go into that. I have a patent on that now, and it's a way of creating a group discussion, much like a telephone conference call. And I was running medical support groups through this. I was very excited about it, and actually got some coverage eventually on CNN, CBS television, and in the Washington Post. And Oprah Winfrey show ran some clips of these audio discussions that I had created. So then I got hired by 3 different companies. 2 were startup.com type companies, and then a top class hospital locally here. And each company was very excited about my invention, my concept, and yet each time something went wrong and we never really launched this. We had a crude prototype which we used, but we never launched it. So I stepped back and I thought to myself, what am I doing wrong, or how can I do something better to improve my chances for success? And I was reading about 3 different companies, Facebook, Google, and Netscape. And each of them began, Google and Facebook began on college campuses.
Well, sure, people living together.
Communal living situations.
Sharing ideas.
Exactly. So they had this community of support on the campus, and when they moved off campus, Google and Facebook, they moved into group residences where they were doing co-working and co-living together. With Netscape, it was the same thing. They were not connected with a campus, but they moved into a big office. They had 3 months to crank out the world's first web browser, and all the young techies, according to the founder, were living, in sleeping bags on the floor and staying there 24/7 just to crank this out. So,
but living and working at the same time,
right.
People often take work home with them. So it makes a lot of sense to take a break, maybe have a meal, and pick up a conversation either by the beach or here in Arlington,
Right.
at your kitchen table. Well, I know recently that there was a discussion, and it's still being had, about 252 micro homes being built in Crystal
Right.
City, where a company will have their employees live and work together. So
Right.
I'm eager to see how that model works, but I also think it's very interesting that you can gather innovators and creators and entrepreneurs together, break bread, share ideas, and develop who knows, the next big thing. Right. Well, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for sharing a little bit about your companies. I want to put your information up on the screen so that we can find out a little bit more about living and working together, and also what opportunities they have in other cities in addition to Arlington. Listen, if you would like more information, feel free to check us out on YouTube. I myself find this to be a very sustainable way of life, and I welcome you to look more into it. That's the Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk.
Thank you so much, Miriam and Lucas. Great job today. Really good job.
Thanks
and
so
then
much.
Craig is on assignment, so we hope to see him next week. So thank you so much for visiting us. Arlington Weekly News.
Bye.
still up.